Cavalcanti. I grew up in Queens, and what do? I study film, I teach swimming, I model, I like to skateboard. Yeah. When I started modeling, it kind of happened by accident. I didn't think that I would get signed or work within the industry the way I do. I basically saw a really nice photo of my friend on Instagram, and I was like, who took that photo? Like, I'll pay this photographer to take a picture of me. I just want one nice photo of myself. So I ended up meeting up with this photographer. He didn't even know what I looked like because I had no photos of myself. 2 days later, we had a shoot on the beach and completely out of my comfort zone. And that's how modeling started. So I started going on shoots every single day. Like every single day with anybody on Instagram that was willing to work with me. I was also trying really hard to work on self-love, so I went vegan and I started working out for the first time in my life, and I started to lose weight really quickly. And every single stigma that was around modeling, I believed in, and I began to become that. And I grew really, really far away from self-love, but 3 months after becoming vegan and working out and doing things that were meant to be healthy, I got signed, being underweight and not okay. I started working for a year with an agency that was really taking advantage of me, and I had no idea, and I fully supported them even after I stopped working with them. And eventually I ended up leaving the agency, and now I'm signed with a really body positive agency that I love. And yeah, it's my experience so far in the industry. I think that when you're being exploited, you're in denial a lot. I also think that when you allow yourself to be exploited, you're not at this level of self-love that you want to be at yet. And I get it because I've been there. Also, people don't know any better. Some people are being exploited and they think that that's how they should be treated. Unfortunately, because of whatever circumstances they went through throughout life up until that point. And then some people do know better. Some people are extremely self-aware, and I think that exploitation also comes out of feeling like you don't have a choice, or you don't think you'll get any money if you're not being exploited. I didn't realize that I was being exploited until I left my agency. I was still supporting them because it was so subtle, even though anybody else would just blatantly see it's there. I think that when you personally are being exploited, if you don't realize it and you're really suffering and miserable in a sense, but you're completely unaware of it, I don't know, it's like it's happening, you don't even know it's happening, because that's what was happening with me. I still thought that nothing had happened. Like, I still thought that I ended up not working with that agency because it was my fault. Like, I had an eating disorder. I ended up gaining a bunch of weight because my body was going through a lot of changes after being extremely underweight. Because I learned how to love myself as I was going through recovery. I am now currently signed to We Speak, which is a super body positive agency. They really don't care about your size. They wouldn't measure you unless you came in and you're like, hey, I gained some weight, maybe you should update my measurements so you could be putting out and producing me as I am. I feel like a lot of people don't have that relationship with their agent. I was getting measured every 2 weeks. I was getting measured every other week, once a week, to make sure that I was either losing weight or maintaining my measurements. My advice to anybody who has struggled through an eating disorder while being a model and being signed, and then ended up leaving their agency due to the fact that they were attempting to exploit them while in recovery or still in the midst of struggling through an eating disorder, maybe not getting signed or working within the modeling industry in terms of castings, or kind of just removing yourself completely from anything that may be a trigger until you are mentally okay. I took a really long break from modeling, from even just going on photo shoots, and I learned how to re-eat and take care of myself. That's my advice. Don't get signed until you're ready to accept yourself for however your body wants to be. Just because you're in recovery and For me personally, I was on the heavier side. I began, and I'm still struggling with this now, I began to see less worth in myself. The same way I would think less of myself for being the size that I am now and not fitting into that straight sized category. I think up until the point that you're able to be fully accepting of yourself, regardless of whether you're gonna lose weight, gain weight, I think it's only then that you should try to work with people again professionally. Yeah, that's my advice.